Hello and welcome to Tuesday Talk. This is our second new and improved Tuesday Talk where we do a recorded, edited video and then I show up for the premiere so we can chat. Hence Tuesday Talk. So nothing's changed. Tonight we are going to be painting this silver tray. So pretty sure it's not real silver. It's silver plate. Okay, so you can see it is tarnished a little bit, but it says Happy Wedding Day. So wasn't my wedding. So we're going to paint it. And the first thing we're going to use on it is Slick Stick. And we're going to do that because it's a bonding primer because the surface is a little slick. I think we might leave the outside just to have that little bit of bling bling on the edge. I think we still are gonna do some blinginess on it anyway. Perhaps that might tarnish. So tell you what, we'll play it safe and we'll use that, and then we're gonna use some black sands, and then we're gonna pick some designs from this Iron Orchid Designs Christmas Valley transfer. And there's all kinds of beautiful images in here, and you can see some of them on the back. And I have chosen this wreath to go on here, but we have to have something to cover up the Happy Wedding Day. So not sure about that 100% yet. So let's go ahead and get started with our Slick Stick. So Slick Stick is a bonding primer. So that means it helps your paint to grab onto a slick surface and stay. So I'm just using one of our premium chip brushes and just getting this party started. Not much could be easier than this. Hope you're having a good week so far. They just fly. And Mondays and Tuesdays are supposed to be well, I'm closed those days, but I'm usually working. Although yesterday I did take a nice, really leisurely day with my friend. And we went shopping in State College. And I did share on my social media, on the reels and the shorts, some of the beautiful central Pennsylvania foliage. If you are not in an area where there's beautiful leaves happening right now, then you might appreciate it. But yeah, it was a nice relaxing day. So today, kind of back at it. Doing a little work for some clients and enjoying Tuesday Talk. Okay, so the Slick Stick's all set, so we're going to let that dry. Okay, here's our first coat. So as it dried, I could see just a little bit of silver peeking through. So I think we're going to do a second coat. So same thing, we're just going to repeat what we did before. I have a little bit of water on my brush from washing it out, so I don't think that's going to hurt anything. Technically, you're supposed to let Slick Stick dry for 24 hours before you put your paint on, but you know me, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to help it along a little bit with the heat gun. So there were a few little lumpy bumpies in the paint, so I used my sanding sponge and just kind of went over the whole thing. And then we'll hit those little spots again. Okay, so we have a good coat of primer on here. And now we're going to go to our next color, which is called Black Sands. Okay, and this is from the Silk line of Dixie Belle. This one has a built-in primer and sealer, but the reason that we use the slick stick is because it is a slick surface. So there are special times when you need a little bit more of a primer, and one of those is, in this case, like a slick surface. And the other situation would be when you have like you have odors, or you might have bleed through. So that would be when you would want to use Dixie Belle's Boss, mainly on furniture. Projects like this, not so much, but you might run across it if you were doing, a thrift flip and you were using something that was wooden. But just to paint something metal, you would definitely not have to worry about bleed through or odors or any of those kinds of problems. So I cannot believe that it's almost November and Thanksgiving month, and in retail, Black Friday month, all that stuff. Holidays are fast approaching. So I did get a little holiday shopping done yesterday on my shopping trip, which was good. Nice to pick up a few things here and there, and then you feel like when crunch time comes that it's not quite so bad if you've accumulated some gifts along the way. So you can sort of see the design underneath there. There's a little, like kind of a swirly, almost floral design. We're going to be covering some of it up, but not quite all of it. We'll still have that texture under there, but we definitely want to cover the Happy Wedding Day up. Okay, so we have a good coat on there, and then we'll check back to see if we need a second coat once this one is dry. Okay, our second coat's dry, but you can definitely see some little white spots through it and some little lumpy bumps. So we're going to do the same thing with the sandpaper again. Make it nice and smooth. Get all those dust particles out of there so we don't make more lumps or bumps. And we're gonna add our second coat. I'm being sloppy with my paint here, huh? I better calm down. With this paint, you don't want to leave any lumps in it. Like if you have a big lump of paint, don't let it sit like that for long. The paint is pretty quick drying, and it dries from the top down basically. So it can still be wet underneath, but any drips or anything like that when you're working on furniture, like on your corners and everything, this paint is amazing, but you just want to make sure that you don't have that, because it's not like chalk paint where you can just kind of sand it down and go back over it. You kind of have to like almost cut it off kind of. So just be careful with that, but that's really about the only thing. I mean, this paint is amazing. I think I sell more silk now than I do chalk paint. And there's still a place for both. I certainly still enjoy painting with chalk paint a lot because you can really build up a lot of texture. It's amazing paint also. So I love them both, so I wouldn't want to give up either one. Okay, so we now have a good second coat on there, and we're going to let this dry. Okay, so that's all dry. Now the next step is our transfer. There are so many pretty designs to choose from this Christmas Valley transfer, but I narrowed my choices down to a few. So we're definitely going to use this twig and berry wreath. And then in the middle, we have our choice of this guy, this little reindeer, or this little Christmas scene, this little tree house in the trees. So this cabin, it just about fits in there. Now you won't be seeing this border because that'll go away. I'm kind of liking this a lot. Let's see, what do you think? Now, since we're not live, you can't vote real time, but I really like him too. I was planning on using gold around the edge. So, I can't decide, but I want to do the middle first and then put the wreath around it. I'm kind of leaning towards this guy because he fits in there a little bit better. And also, we can maybe put a little bit of gilding on his branches, on his antlers, and then kind of wrap that in around the edges as well. So let's do this. Now you definitely want to make sure that your tray is dry, or whatever you're putting your transfer on is dry, because your transfer just won't stick if it isn't. Speaking of stick. Okay, so I'm going to take my backing off here. And see, I see some little pattern here, so I want to make sure I get the middle. So gently kind of laying it down, and I think we're about right. So then I'm going to take the stick that comes with the transfers and just burnish it onto my tray. Now, because the surface underneath, it has that little embossing on it, so it might take a little persuasion here, or it might go super easy. Just don't know. But my paint is dry. It should be dry anyway. So let's lift a little corner here. I should lift it from your direction, that way you can see it. If I can get one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm just lifting up on the corner while I continue to burnish, so I can see if something doesn't come up, then I can just keep rubbing it back down, and it's coming up relatively easy. We like that, right? I like it when our projects go easy. Sometimes they don't, and it gets frustrating, but make it work. Okay, he's cute in the middle of our tray. I like him on the black background. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and put the wreath around him. Now this will be easier to position because we have this grid line, plus he's just already there. I hope we're centered okay. We seem to be. We're going to go for it. Okay. And same thing. Transfers make your crafting so easy. The images look hand painted, and it's just so easy to make over these, thrifted things, or just things you have laying around. I mean, this was in my basement for forever. And I was always going to do something with it as far as either sell it or something. I probably had a makeover plan for it at one point in time, but it didn't happen. I was going to do a 3-tier tray tonight, a mid-century modern tray that I've had forever. It's a little rusty, but I couldn't find the things that hold it, together. So that was a no-go. Okay, I'll just keep working this way because I already have that much of it up. And this is coming off beautifully as well. So best tip I can give you with transfers, just make sure your paint is dry, and it doesn't always come up this evenly or this easily. Most of the time it does. The IOD transfers have great release, but just keep rubbing it if it doesn't want to come up. And if a little piece doesn't, then just lay it back down. Easy peasy. Sometimes, now this is no big deal, but sometimes, like if you're working on a piece of furniture and you have a big transfer, you can cut off some of that excess stuff so it doesn't get in your way. Okay, oh my gosh, that sure was easy, and how cute is that? Now if we want, I can look and see if there's anything else we want to add, maybe to him, or if we just want to do our gilding, but let's just take a quick look and see if there's anything else. I'll page through what's left. I know the first one is a really big image, so that is so pretty. You could easily do a sign with that, and this one as well. I think that's really cute. You know, we could do something like this around his neck, but that's really big in comparison, like in scale. So I'd rather find something that's the same scale. Um, these cute little birds. By the way, there was a bird perched right outside my kitchen window, and it kind of took me by surprise at first, but he's kind of just hanging out and not afraid of anything. He's just like, I'm chilling here. These little berries are about the size of the berries in the wreath, it seems like. So maybe I'll just take a little bit of that and put it like around his neck somehow. If I can find some other greenery that's kind of that same scale. Because the rest of it seems a little bit big. Maybe not the holly. If I can find a nice little sprig. Maybe that. See, that seems so big. Maybe not. We'll try it. We'll cut it out and we'll see what it looks like. Because I think the evergreen is definitely too big. I don't want too much. Well, just a little bit. How about? Yeah, you just kind of cut it up to suit your needs. I think this will work. So the stems are up here. I think that'll be cute. Okay. I can get an end pulled up. That's like my biggest challenge. Okay, I think that's a cute little addition to our reindeer. Okay, so last thing, let's have a few finishing touches on here. I'm going to grab some gemstone mousse in golden gem. And I'm going to grab this stencil brush because it's kind of stiffer. And just going to come in here, and before I do anything on the outside, I'm just going to put a little bit, maybe this isn't the right brush for this situation. Let me get a smaller brush with a point. Let's put a little gold in his antlers, because, you know, it's time of the year to get fancy. Okay, so we gave him some gold antlers, and now we're going to take this and just go right around the outside edge and put a little bling on that. There is also another little bead on the inside there, and we might put some on there as well. This is looking so cute, and really it was a pretty quick transformation from our Happy Wedding Day tray. And I'm just running this right along that raised beading line. Kind of missed some there. Kind of went off the side. And it does not have to be perfect. If you don't like how it looks, you can always come back in with the black paint and touch it up. But I think that it gives it sort of an organic, hand-painted look if you just do it. And if it's imperfect, that's how they know it's hand-painted. Because nobody's perfect. So like I said, if that bothers you, if there's a couple like little places where it just kind of came in a little bit off the side, then let's just grab our brush that has some of the silk paint on it. And just kind of touch it up a little bit. And it's gone just like that. And I think it looks great. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get this dried and staged up for you so you can see the finished product. Okay, I'm loving our little tray so much. You know, another thing you could do is use white wax and just kind of go over it and rub it in and that could maybe go over some of those little details. They might come out. So, but other than that, I am pretty happy with this one. I kind of like it just like it is. So if you have things sitting around your house, they can become Christmas decor or any kind of decor by just using this simple method. Just take it and paint it, take the proper steps, and do a transfer, and you have something brand new. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next Tuesday.